Morning, everybody. Say hi, Lola. Lola got a haircut yesterday. She got her fancy bandana. She got her hairs cut. She's looking good. Say good morning. Hairs in your mouth. So, since yesterday was the first day of spring, I wanted to read you one of my very favorite books about a garden. It's called The Curious Garden by Peter Brown. And it's one of my very, very favorites because, well, I don't want to give it away. I'll read it to you. But Lola wants to go run around, so she's going to say bye. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay, go ahead. Run around. All right. The Curious Garden. Look at that title page. Cool, right? There once was a city without gardens or trees or greenery of any kind. Most people spent their time indoors. As you can imagine, it was a very dreary place. However, there was one boy who loved being outside. Even on drizzly days, while everyone else stayed inside, you could always find Liam happily splashing through his neighborhood. It was on one such morning that Liam made several surprising discoveries. He was wandering around the old railway, as he did from time to time, when he stumbled upon a dark stairwell leading up the tracks. The railway had stopped working ages ago, and since Liam had always wanted to explore the tracks, there was only one thing for the curious boy to do. You think he's going to go check it out? I think so. Liam ran up the stairs, pushed open the door, and stepped out onto the railway. The first thing he saw was a lonely patch of color. Wild flowers and plants were the last things he had expected to find up there. But when he took a closer look, it became clear that the plants were dying. They needed a gardener. Would you help that garden if you found it? I would. Liam may not have been a gardener, but he knew that he could help. So he returned to the railway the very next day and got to work. The flowers nearly drowned, and he had a few pruning problems, but the plants patiently waited while Liam found better ways of gardening. As the weeks rolled by, Liam began to feel like a real gardener, and the plants began to feel like a real garden. Look, he's singing to them. I like that idea. I think Sprinkles, the spider plant, would like a song. Maybe. Most gardens stay in one place, but this was no ordinary garden. With miles of open railway ahead of it, the garden was growing restless. It wanted to explore. The tough little weeds and mosses were the first to move. They popped up farther and farther down the tracks and were closely followed by the more delicate plants. Over the next few months, Liam and the curious garden explored every corner of the railway. Check it out. It's getting bigger and bigger. And look, now it's on the whole railway. Wow, I love this picture. Look at all those flowers. Check it out. It's growing through the railway. After spending his spring and summer and autumn with the garden, Liam's time on the railway was finally interrupted by winter. Heavy blankets of snow fell on the city that season, and for the first time since he'd become a gardener, Liam could not visit the plants. Oh, check him out. How's he feeling? Kind of bummed, huh? Rather than waste his winter worrying about the garden, Liam spent it preparing for spring. After 3 cold months of snow, the snow finally began to melt, and Liam rolled his new gardening gear over to the railway. So look, he was reading about gardens, so he could do more for his garden when springtime came. Look, he's even got a hat, gardening gloves. Look at all those tools. Winter had taken a toll on the garden, but thanks to Liam's planning, his handy new tools, and a little help from the sun, the plants soon awoke from their winter sleep. Now he knows what to do to help those plants. The garden had always wanted to explore the rest of the city, and that spring it was finally ready to make its move. Once again, the tough little weeds and mosses set out first. They popped up farther and farther from the railway and were closely followed by the more delicate plants. Check it out, they're creeping their way down. The garden was especially curious about old, forgotten things. A garden in an old car. Kind of cool. Or a boarded up window. A few plants popped up where they didn't belong. Uh-oh. Is that safe? Plants on a stop sign? Or plants, look, on this fire hydrant? Uh-oh. Liam's doing the right thing. He has to take them off. Others mysteriously popped up all at once. Who do you think planted that? I think it was Liam. Look at his disguise. But the most surprising things that popped up were the new gardeners. Look at all these friends that are watching Liam and want to do what he's doing. Check them out. That's cool. They're enjoying their garden. Nice soft grassy steps, somewhere to have a picnic. Big lily pads on the pond. Look at all that. And look, oh, elephant. My favorite. Many years later, the entire city had blossomed. But of all the new gardeners, Liam's favorite was where it all began. Right on top of the railway. Remember that little doorway? Look at the city now. How beautiful. Let's look back to where Liam started, what the city looked like before. Check it out. No colors, but look at it now. Beautiful. All that green. The end. So, as springtime comes, it's a great time to practice your gardening skills if you can. Or, if you don't have any seeds or dirt or anything like that, take care of a garden that you can find, just like Liam. Okay?